Katie, if coaches are using due diligence in vetting recruits, care about stars. They do for a couple of reasons: perception and money. I don't know if people know this. I'm not going to go into specifics, but certain coaches at certain schools, I don't know if it's all of them, get bonuses based on landing recruits that are higher ranked. And I'm not kidding. And I'm not talking about 10K. I'm talking about six figures. Yeah, it matters. I don't get phone calls from coaches very often. Here's one of the reasons that I do. If a kid commits to pick a school and I don't mention one of the coaches involved in his recruitment, my phone will ring. Hey, I was involved in that. I was the lead recruiter in that. 100%. It's hilarious. Tommy Guns, the number of clicks. That's probably. Max Morgan, heard Miami's trying to get Oregon's DB's coach, Rashaad Woodard, and bring along Dante Wright. Curious to that on Amir Sears reclass. I haven't heard anything about what's going on. It's kind of late to be getting a DB coach. Amir Sears, for those who don't know, he's class of 28, but he's possibly going to reclass. He's at Miami Columbus, great player. Might be the best player in Florida regardless of class. He's really, really good. That's interesting about Woodard. Like, that guy's as good a recruiter as there is in the country. Be curious to see what happens in the offseason if Miami's trying to get him. Katie, do they have to give it back if the recruit flops? That's a great question. I don't know how that works, but my guess is they're getting paid either way, just like crappy coaches get paid to leave. Great question, though. Jared Moore, stars don't mean anything after you sign your letter of intent. True. It's all production and availability. Love that. It's very, very true. Tommy Guns, do you know Notre Dame's next commit? If I did, I wouldn't announce it, but I haven't even asked anybody, to be honest. And just as an example, the running back, the first one that committed, Notre Dame didn't even know he was committing. Sometimes kids just pop. It just happens. So it's random. You guys can keep commenting in the chat. I'm going to read off a few of the latest decommits. Then I'll flip it around and do some of the latest commitments as well. We'll kind of go down that path and just have a little bit of fun here. But these are the latest. We'll go back about a week or so. Let's see how far down I want to go here. We'll start with Syracuse. Tristan Hughes. This is back just about 3 weeks ago. Out of Ohio, athlete, was committed to Syracuse. He decommitted. Jack Sorgi, I'm sure he's either already or going to pick Wisconsin. He's a quarterback. His dad played at Wisconsin, then played with the Colts. Get out of Ohio. He was committed to Louisville. Jaheed Brown, that was kind of surprising. Christian Academy of Louisville, decommitted from the Hoosiers. He's a really talented wide receiver. Sean Curry, tight end, decommitted from Virginia. He's from New Jersey, the Lawrenceville School. That's a good program. Jabarius Guerrero, a kid I mentioned earlier. We call him Chicken. He lives down here near me. He goes to Viger High School in Mobile. Elite pass rusher. I think he will eventually end up at A&M, but it could be Florida State. We'll see. Xavier Whittington, he was committed to Boston College. This is rough. They don't get many kids like this. He's from Aberdeen, Maryland. 325-pound guys don't commit to BC very often. That one stings a bit. Drew Fielder committed to USC after being committed to Oregon. He was a big-time offensive tackle. Good for USC. Tristan Dare, offensive lineman, was committed to Michigan. He's a kid out of South Lake Carroll, the famous quarterback school. They've had like 6 guys go to the NFL from there. Marquise Bryant out of Rollsville High School just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. He has decommitted from North Carolina. Nash Johnson III, a corner from McEachern High School, one of the best programs on the northwest side of Atlanta. Decommitted from Bama. Watch out for Auburn there. Seth Williams just decommitted from Clemson. He's a kid that I know. Didn't even know that, and then it happened today. That's when I got to make a phone call to him, see what the heck he's doing. I don't know why in the world he would decommit from Clemson. He's only been committed for a few weeks. But recent commitments, we'll flip it around here, and I'll see how many we can get in the last. Let's say 3 days. Maybe a little long, maybe 4 days. We're starting to get to the point where commitments are going to roll a little bit because of all the spring games. We'll have a little bump, but then it'll probably wait till late May to really get much. Let's see. We'll go back to the 6th. Who we got? A few more than I thought, to be honest with you. Iowa. Okay, we'll go 5th. Nate Brenneman, good offensive tackle in the state of Iowa. I trust Iowa's eye with offensive tackle. 6'7", 250, committed to the Hawkeyes. SMU picked up Quay Ford. Really big pickup for them out of Texas High and Texarkana. They don't normally get linemen like that. Big pickup for Rhett Lashley and his crew. Minnesota gets tight end Drake McKelson out of South Dakota. Love that. Going into South Dakota for a player. Oregon got A. King Hall, arguably the best player in the state of Alabama. Great kid, too. He's out of Dothan. Cornerback. This, depending on which service you go by, Oregon might sign the best player in the state of Alabama 3 years in a row. How wild is that? The University of Arkansas, Zacharias Huzzy out of LaGrange, Georgia. He is a cornerback going to play for the Hogs. Aaron Strader going to Kent State. He's a quarterback out of Pine Richland and just outside of Pittsburgh. That's a pretty famous program. Iowa State, Bryson Thompson, a wide receiver out of Johnson High School in San Antonio, headed to play for the Cyclones. Tommy Riordan, edge, 6'4", 240, going to play for the Hawkeyes out of Hinsdale Central. Pretty good program just outside of Chicago. Blake Roscoff, one of the best quarterbacks in the country out of Arizona. Big kid, 6'5", 235. He's got a gun. He's got a super high upside. The Huskies going all the way down to Arizona to pick him up. Jack Henderson, an edge out of Bishop Kelly in Boise, Idaho, going to play for Utah. Brooks Bako, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, out of North Dakota. Another Dakota's kid, tight end, going to play for Minnesota. Going up a little further, Kentucky. Miguel Wilson, a kid out of Viger, the corner. I didn't know he committed to Kentucky until yesterday. That's right. Forgotten about that one. Really good pickup for Kentucky. They're starting to spread their wings a little bit. Ezra Santavelli, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly, running back out of Liberty High School in Henderson. That's just outside of Las Vegas. He is going to BYU. Maxwell Hiller, we talked about him. I think he's the best player in the country. Commits to the Gators. Logan Steele, an athlete, is headed to Wake Forest. He's out of Pennsylvania. And Cone Hinsman, going to Iowa State, offensive tackle, 6'7", 285, out of Hudson, Michigan. All right, who else we got in here? Let's see. Max Morgan. Yeah, I read that from E.J. Holland or Gabby on the Insider's Report that if he came from Oregon, it would be after spring practice. They got an open spot at Miami? Like in the middle of spring? If they do, I was unaware of that. That's wild. Like Mario runs a pretty tight ship on that kind of stuff. Tommy Guns. Oh, don't read E.J. Holland. Dude is a turd. Yeah. Notre Dame fans hate E.J. Holland. Max Morgan, got to when I'm bored. Let me go check who said it real quick. Okay, no worries, man. Hurricane Hicks, Clemson seems to be in a downward spiral. They did take 10 portal players. I'll give them credit. They at least adjusted a little bit. Tommy, if Dabo starts utilizing the portal the way Notre Dame, Ohio State, or Georgia does to fill a hole here or there, Clemson could easily make a good comeback. I agree, but will they? I'm not sure. I don't trust Clemson to be consistent with that. Just my opinion. Katie, based on reports, Georgia's D in 26 will be a monster. Recruiting those O-lines and running backs tells us that Kirby's up to. Their D had a bunch of young guys, a lot of freshmen and sophomores last year that played. Katie's onto something there. I will be surprised if it's not a top 5 defense. Max Morgan, Miami lost their DB coach to the NFL months ago. I didn't know they hadn't replaced him. That would be wild that he would wait till after spring. Like, I don't know what the reasoning would be. I'm not saying you're wrong. That would be a big get for the Miami Hurricanes. We have had no coach for months. They've been working together. Okay. My apologies. I did not know that. I found the comment. I'm going to type it out. Okay. I appreciate that. I'm curious about it because, like, Gabby knows what's going on, obviously, and some of those guys. But that is wild. Like, to go through spring, you got to know something or the guy that you need. Maybe it's this guy. There's a contract issue, whatever it may be. That is buck wild. So matter of fact, let me make a text message to a certain Oregon friend of mine. Something tells me he's not going to like this text message very much, but it is what it is, man. If you're, that's hilarious. Oregon losing its DB coach. I'm curious if I get a reply to this. Yeah, the reply I get to this will not be friendly, but It's still fun. Still gotta like that stuff. Brian is going to get the goods right now. I'm trying, but like the person I'm texting with is a massive Oregon fan. Dialed in, won't like it, but if it's out a little bit, it's probably reached his phone at some point prior to my text. We'll see. He's on West Coast time, so I don't know when he got up or what he's doing, but it's still really funny nonetheless. I'll wait for that for about 5 minutes here, but anybody have any questions about anything else, fire away. I might as well make one. This won't surprise anybody. I'm going to make my top 5 picks for the top 5 recruiting classes in the country. You can probably guess which ones I'm going to go with for the most. There's about 8 teams that kind of pile into that top 5. Anybody want to guess? Have some fun with it. I want to give you one. I think they're pretty much every year. There are 2 I'm going to pick, barring something unforeseen, and that's Ohio State and Georgia. And then about the other 6, just depends on how many they take in a given year. Who should I pick? Again, these aren't hard. This year, Penn State should be one because they're going to have a massive class. They should be. They'll be kind of an exception because I think they're going to have like a 35-member class. I could be wrong on that, but we'll see. Notre Dame, if they get up close to 25, we'll see. Again, numbers matter. Texas, it's not real hard. Watch out for the Gators, especially since they got Maxwell Hiller. That's my wild card. That's a possibility. USC and Miami. Those are the ones that I think are most likely. Anybody that wants to fight with that, we'll see. Let's see. What is Jared? What's the highest NIL budget you've heard of for this year? LSU. It's $40+ million. I don't know what Oregon's is. I imagine it's pretty high too. Tommy, how many teams do you absolutely know don't give 2 turds about the 20? Anybody that's competing for a title. There is no such thing as a cap because they don't enforce it. None. LSU went over the cap just with their portal players. That's garbage. If you ain't going over that cap, you ain't sniffing the playoff. No way. Max Morgan. Gabby said, I don't think Dobson is coming here. Right is projected based on Miami getting Oregon cornerback coach Rashaad Woodard, which is very much on the table. Woodard is a Southern Cal native. Let me see here. I'm going to send that right there as we type this to my buddy. This will not make him happy. This is great stuff. I love this. Nothing like live and in person. Max. And has the Ducks in the middle of that recruitment. Yeah. Oregon does an incredible job nationally. It's crazy. Jared Moore, Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Southern Cal, LSU. I ain't got any problems with that. If I had to add one for sure in that, again, barring then something unforeseen, Penn State should be, because their class should be massive. Should be. Texas, Notre Dame, Michigan could be a really big one too, depending on how much they want to go portal to high school because it's first year. A&M, Oklahoma, it started off great. I don't know how many they're taking, but they got the number 1 class right now. I just don't know how many they're taking. We'll see. My buddy says he hasn't heard that. That's wild. We'll see. If Miami pulls that off, that would be a problem because Oregon would then have a scenario after spring. They're looking for a DB coach, and he's obviously very good. That would be wild. That's wild. Tommy, I can't imagine Notre Dame doesn't hit 25 plus. They're going to have some real NFL departures after they win the national championship this year. They could. Leonard Moore will be gone a year early. I would imagine Schuler's gone. Tate Johnson, 3 guys in the secondary have at least 1 year of eligibility left gone. So that's possible. You could always lose a receiver early or something like that. Maybe one of the running backs. Like, there are a lot of possibilities there. So yeah, that's true. Katie, Mark Cuban can be a one-man collective at IU. If he wanted to be, he could, and he's donated a lot. I know Mark is a big IU basketball guy. He needs to donate there because my Hoosiers in basketball are not very good. Tommy Guns, especially on defense, true. Max, I haven't been over to the Canes board to read Gabby's stuff. He's a great guy. If you want really good Canes stuff, nobody works harder than Gabby does at the 247 site for Miami. Like, he literally sits outside the steps where the kids go into the building when they take visits and interviews them as they come and go. Literally. Like, in the middle of the summer when it's hot as bejesus in Miami. I told him he's nuts, but there's no doubt he works hard. Fred, did you see the Clemson decommit? He was only committed for a month, they say. I know Seth. I know him personally. He plays with Coastline Stars part of the time, or plays with Cam Newton. Good guy, but I don't know what happened. He probably wanted to take visits, is my guess. So I know him. Max Morgan, somebody asked Gabby what the holdup with him coming to Miami from Oregon was. I will type up the response. Thank you. If you want to screenshot it and put it over here, you can do whatever you want, but if you type it, that's fine. Gabby's, again, he's a great dude. Max, is the info all behind a paywall? Technically, but like, I know Gabby, and if you don't have to do it verbatim, just give me the generic. Because if Gabby said it, this is a great story. This is a big deal. This could change who competes for the national title. This is a big deal. And I ain't trying to steal from Gabby, if that's what you mean. But he's a great dude. I'll be curious if there's any other coaching moves, because like, that is very unusual. After spring, that's wild. Fred G. Rebs, yes, he wanted to take visits, and Dabo was like, don't commit if you're going to take visits. That is his deal, man. Tommy, be quiet. Oh, that's funny. It doesn't make any. Everybody knows it's behind a paywall. It's no big deal. Gabby and I have shared info more times than I could possibly remotely count. I'm at so many state of Florida events where Gabby's at, a high school game, Under Armour camp, Under Armour All-American game, Future 50, some other event, University of Miami practice, whatever it is. It's insane. Gabby's, he's really good people. One more thing here, while he's doing that, if you think there's a team, just for fun here, while we're discussing all these different players, that should be considered for top 10 preseason this year, that's a true playoff contender that doesn't get much love, not just from me. I don't care if it's from Athlon, ESPN, CBS, Fox, whatever podcast it is. Tell me who the team is. Give me the reason you think they're undervalued, and or the player or position that could get them over the top. BYU is the fascinating team with me, because if they could figure out the deep passing game, I've talked about this many times, they would be a very big challenge. They've got a tremendous running back. Was it LJ Martin? I can't remember the kid's name. I think that's what it is. He's a thumper. Bear Bachmeier's in year 2. You know he's going to improve. But he only had 11 big-time throws per Pro Football Focus, which are almost always deep shots. You put them on the money. That is insanely low. They got to improve their deep passing game. Katie, Katie's pick is the one that I picked. We're steadfast. SMU, I think, is a team that can absolutely make the playoff, and I picked them on this show. Anybody else, and why? Fred G. Rebs, of course you're going to pick Ole Miss. I'm picking Ole Miss too, but somebody that doesn't get any love. I mean, Ole Miss is in some top 10s. Is there a team you think that is not in the top 10? Matt G. USC proven senior quarterback, new defense coordinator. Could be. Hurricane Hicks, SMU, agreed. Tommy, how quickly do you think Franklin can get Virginia Tech competent for an ACC title? Sleeper, probably year 3. Everybody still has the same capabilities with the portal and all that. It's flipping the roster. Do you really trust Grunkemeyer? I'm not sure I do. But everything lines up because the ACC is terrible. That also helps them. Max Moore, Gavin said, don't think timing really matters at this point. Just need to cross the finish line. Let's see if he gets there. It's a good chance. This has been a 6 weeks process. Wow. If Gabby said it like Gabby's just dialed into Miami as any one person is to any program, Gabby said that, there's a chance. And if he's putting it out there, it's not like sensitive news. People know it. That's wild. Matt G in New York. Notre Dame going to sleepwalk into playoffs with that schedule. You know who's really going to sleepwalk into the playoffs? Texas Tech. Go look at theirs. Miami's is weaker than Notre Dame's too in terms of their conference and all that. They don't play SMU, which sucks. There's a lot of bad schedules in college football this year because conferences are going out of their way 100% to try to get an extra team in by scheduling lighter with some of their top teams. No doubt about it. Tommy Gunn, swipe text with those grammar mistakes. My bad. Don't worry about it, brother. Not worried about grammar here on the internet too much. Jared Moore, I will be at Virginia Tech next Thursday. I'm going to be excited to see the quarterback competition. I don't even know who's the other quarterback that's even competing at Tech right now. Do we really know? Because to be honest with you, I don't even have a clue who their playmakers are or anything. I wanted to wait till after spring and see their spring game and do it raw. But if there's a true quarterback battle, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Katie, SMU will win the Atlantic Coast Conference. They very well could. Wouldn't shock me. I'm still picking Katie's favorite team, even though she hates the head coach, and that's Mario Cristobal in Miami. But we'll see. Tommy, Notre Dame's schedule isn't super hard, sure, but it's not as bad as some of y'all think. No, it's definitely not. When Notre Dame scheduled some of those games, that was 10 years ago. Michigan State and Wisconsin were actually good then. That's the other thing about it. Fred, do you think there will ever be a day and age that Notre Dame joins a conference? They always have cupcakes. This always, be careful about the word always. That's garbage. Notre Dame schedule, if you're just an SEC honk, no offense, I don't care. Never use the word always. Avoid that. Some of Notre Dame's schedules are harder than others, and some are easier than others. But this year, the way it worked out, Michigan State, total rebuild. They scheduled that 10 years ago. Wisconsin, total rebuild, scheduled that 10 years ago. They got hosed. I don't think Notre Dame will join a conference until they do the Super League because they don't have to. Tommy Guns, self-appointed grammar police. I don't really worry about it much in chats. Yeah, no offense, Fred, but look, it's just Super League is coming. Notre Dame's going to be in it. Katie Allman, Lashley will out-scheme and out-coach Mario. He's already done it once. That was a bad game by Miami. If you want to say that, I have no problem with it because Miami should have beat them by 10 points. Tommy Guns, Notre Dame will not join a conference until and unless they get locked out of a championship opportunity. And networks will never let that happen because the networks want Notre Dame in. So that's not going to happen. About 2031, 2032, we're going to be to the Super League anyway. It's not going to matter. All right. We are to the end here. If anybody has anything else they want to add, any other questions, fire away here in the next minute or so. But while I'm thinking of it, thank you very much for checking out the Portal Podcast. Appreciate it as always. Love having everybody in here with all the questions. It is a lot of fun. We're now to commitment season. Again, Maxwell Hiller, my number one overall recruit, has pledged to the Florida Gators. I think he's a plug-and-play start as a true freshman guy. Maybe not a tackle from day one. We'll see, but they'll figure it out. Regardless, he's going to start somewhere for the Gators next year. They're headed in the right direction. I think Davin Davidson, barring something unforeseen, will also commit to the Gators, and I think it's at 7:30, if I read that correctly. There are also a few other kids that are supposed to commit. We'll talk about that as we go in, but everybody have a good one on that. Tell me what else you got here, brother. Super League with pods geographically located. That's my guess, like 6 games, 7 games in your area. Then you play a couple games around the country. So that's what I think. Find out about that coach and Dante Wright. That's an interesting topic. I may come back with that. By the way, tomorrow I'm on the road. I'm headed to Battle Nationals in the state of Tennessee. I'll be driving all day. Not going to be fun. We'll see, but we'll see. Tommy Gunn, something like conferences, semi, I would imagine on the super conference, but I haven't heard a ton, just suggestions. Jared, Bryce Baker, not Troy Yoon, is lighting it up. Bryce Baker is a super talented kid, so I'm not surprised by that. Tommy, safe travels. Thank you. I appreciate it. That'll do it for today's Portal Podcast. Again, appreciate everybody. Please like and subscribe if you have not. There will be more 5-star madness starting next week when I get back. I'll have news from Battle Nationals in Nashville, Tennessee. We'll talk about the best players and all that too. We're going to have fun again on Monday when we get back. But check out the Portal Podcast, like and subscribe. Give us a 5-star review, and make sure you check out the Everydayer Club. This has been the Portal Podcast.